have 4 guys currently on this team that made the all-rookie team. Zach Kleiman can figure out draft picks.
We draft really well.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking Zach Edey, Jalen Wells, Ja, and now Cedric Howard. That's pretty impressive. And now, with a 3rd pick, and they're saying Peterson could slip to number 3, there's a good chance you get another all-rookie candidate. However, I don't think Ja will be on the team, but we're going to talk a lot about that in just a couple of minutes with Pete Pranica, who's about to board an airplane, so we're going to take him a little bit early. It was a very good day for Tiger Athletics yesterday. The Memphis baseball team was a winner 13-9 over Charlotte, which means they get into the double elimination part of the tournament. They will take on UAB today, right after game 1, which I think is Wichita State and Rice. I believe that's correct. 47 minutes after that game, the Tigers will take on UAB. They are now 23-32. So they've had a great second half because they had a dismal beginning. And this is the first time they've made the tournament with Coach Reiser. And, maybe crazy miracles could happen. You got 2 losses now that you have one in the bank and still are in it. So good chance there. And then the University of Memphis golf team playing in Columbus, Ohio. They were the number 10 seeded team in that tournament. You have to make top 5 to get to the NCAA championship round, which is in Carlsbad, California, at like the La Quinta Resort. They finished in the top 5. That's what you got to do to get to the next championship round. They made it. It is their 8th appearance all time, so good luck to them. That is really quite the story. I mentioned the baseball team. Tim Doolan's going to join us as they've made it. Obviously, the Ole Miss lost to Missouri on the first game of the SEC tournament. How does that affect their chances to make the tournament? He'll weigh in on that. We'll end our day with our good friend Jarvis Greer, who's actually on vacation in the Dominican Republic, but is kind enough to join us from paradise. He's already sent me pictures. He's on the beach. You got the grass huts. You got everything going beautifully. But he's going to take some time to end the week with us, and we'll talk a little bit about that 3rd pick and what Charles Huff had to say. Going to be in the Power 4 in 2028. I'm curious as to what his reaction will be. And we'll get into that conversation. In the meantime, as I sit here in the Family Leisure Studios, I will head, I think, to the airport. Memphis International. It is a busy day of travel because it's Memorial Day weekend. Good morning, Mr. Pranica. Thank you for joining us before you board a flight.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, very much so.
Just back home to Wisconsin vacation, or are you going someplace exotic?
I don't know if we're going to say exotic, but no, going to go to San Diego and Los Angeles to see Chris Bodie at the Blue Note Jazz Club, and then my first visit to Dodger Stadium. So really looking forward to that.
You've never been to Chavez Ravine?
I have not.
Wow, I'm almost shocked at that. By the way, congratulations on your Brewers beating the heck out of my Cubs, sweeping them. My goodness.
That was fantastic. Also, congratulations. I'm an Arsenal supporter, and they win the Premier League championship for the first time in 22 years. Very exciting.
Yeah, wow, big times for you. You need that after the season you just endured. So, Cedric Howard makes the all-rookie team. He's the 4th guy on this team with Edey, Wells, and Ja also. I mean, that's a testament, isn't it, to how Zach Kleiman is able to draft?
I think it's a testament to how well he's able to draft, but it's also a testament to the player development group working tirelessly with these guys to make them better, and it's also a reflection on the guys themselves. When you talk to the Grizzlies coaching staff, I've talked extensively with Ryan Saunders about Jalen Wells because that's the one-to-one training relationship there. And Ryan says you would have no idea how good his work ethic is, and the same for Cedric Howard. So these they draft well, but this is why, people say, well, why don't you follow the draft, more religiously? It's like, I'm just concerned about when you get to our team and what we can do with you, rather than what you did in college. And the player development staff for the Grizzlies, and really it's been a long-standing tradition with the Grizzlies that their player development has always yielded really, really good results.
So you've been doing these games for the Grizz. How many years now?
Yeah, this will be year 23 coming up.
23. You're seeing a lot of the rookies come and go. I don't even know how many made all rookie team, but I'm assuming it's more than just the 4. Like Jaren Jackson Jr. had to be all rookie. Probably people before him. So if we go back, let's just make it that Ja was probably the greatest rookie that you've seen in a Memphis uniform. Who would be the next guy?
Oh, the next best rookie?
Yeah.
Oh, since I've been here, that's a good question. Obviously Jaren was very, very good. O.J. Mayo,
I forgot about him. Yeah.
That's the great Grizzlies draft Kevin Love. We have him on in an interview, and then we wake up the next morning and find out he was traded for O.J. Mayo. So, I would. That's kind of where I would go with that.
I like that. O.J. Mayo, Ja, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Where do you think Howard kind of fits in here?
I think Howard, he doesn't wow you in the way that an O.J. Mayo or a John Morant could, but he's just rock solid as an individual, and I think as a basketball player as well. I expect him to take a leap forward, and hopefully he remains healthy. I think the kid's got his head on straight, very clear-headed. And I talked with one of the assistant coaches that works with him, and he says, believe it or not, this kid makes me a better coach, because his basketball IQ is so high that, if you're coaching him, if you're doing his player development, you better be sharp, because he's going to ask you some really probing questions. And this particular coach said, when we watch video, he said, I start the clip, and Cedric already runs me through the clip and what he did right or wrong. So his basketball IQ is off the charts. His athletic ability is fantastic. Was a leading rebounder for the Grizzlies this year. So, you're talking about great rookies. How about Rudy Gay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love Rudy Gay. Yeah, Rudy Gay would be right up there with us, with Mayo and with Ja, in my estimation. Yep. Hey, Zach Edey, I think we have to just say the jury's out, because when he's been there and healthy, he's been sort of a dominating player.
Without a doubt. You look at the numbers with and without him this past season, and Tomas Isla will tell you, when the Grizzlies were at their best, it was because they had a consistent lineup and they could put Edey in the starting lineup. And I think the Grizzlies went 7-4 with him. And when he did not play, I think the rebounding differential was something crazy, like minus 8 or 9 a game, because he wasn't available to them. So if he could play a full season, that would be a huge break for the Grizzlies, because just his gravitational pull with his physicality, his rebounding. We saw his footwork greatly increase from year 1 to year 2. His agility got a whole lot better. Again, he stays healthy. This team can go places.
I would love to see him and Wembanyama go head to head. I really would, if he's healthy. That would be so much fun to watch. All right, this all rookie team: Cooper Flagg, Con Knuppel, VJ Edgecombe, Dylan Harper, and Cedric Coward. How would you rank that all rookie class?
I think it's a pretty doggone good one. Knuppel was a record breaker in terms of making threes. Cooper Flagg is just playing lights out, particularly for someone his age. And I think that has to be mentioned, that he is doing some amazing things. And what is he, 18, 19 years old? Mm-hmm. And you look at VJ Edgecombe, and he is a vital contributor to, Philadelphia getting to the second round of the playoffs.
He's a good player.
That's huge. I think, I know everybody's talking about this draft and how loaded it is, but you look at the all-rookie team coming out of last year's draft, that's pretty doggone good.
Well, the year before that...
And Dylan Harper was San Antonio, too.
Oh, yeah. And the year before that was obviously Wembanyama.
Yeah.
And he's, we talk about unicorn. We use that word weirdly, but that guy's he's incredible, which gets me to the Western Conference Finals. You've been watching this thing since you were a kid, involved, as you said, well over 20 years. Is this the highest level that maybe we've seen since the Bird Magic era. I don't know, because this San Antonio and defending champion OKC series in 2 games has provided some of the highest skill level I've ever seen on both sides too, because this is not just great offense. They turn the ball over a lot, but that's because I think the defense is so good.
Yeah, both these teams really hang their hat on defense. Both of them are extremely well coached. And what I like about both these teams, with the exception, I know Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the outlier here, but basically it's been draft and developed. And that's what San Antonio has done. And Oklahoma City clearly has done that as well. Now, they have had free agent pickups. Caruso obviously has been huge.
Yeah.
They make the trade with Philly for Jared McCain, and he's been good in this series and in bits and pieces. So this could be a long-term rivalry in the Western Conference. Those two could be at the top of the West for a long, long time.
All right, so now we got injuries. Harper, we just mentioned him. I don't know what his status is going to be. Maybe Fox can come back. He's been out. Who's going to win this series? I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm going to go with the Thunder, and for one reason only: they've been there before.
Mm-hmm. They've lost the first game before.
Yes. So they understand the gravity of the situation. They came out, they played desperate basketball last night. And you think about San Antonio not making the playoffs last year, and now you are looking at a potentially very long series, and these guys have not had that experience. And I remember back in the day when I was with the Pistons, Chuck Daly would say, the first time you go to a conference finals, you're just begging for it to be over. You are so tired. You have played so many games. And so it becomes a matter of persistence, almost a battle of attrition. And Oklahoma City has that knowledge. They have that swagger because they've done it, and San Antonio hasn't. So that really is the only reason that I would get Oklahoma City an edge.
Knicks in Cleveland tonight, Game 2. Obviously, Cleveland just gave away the game the other night. Kenny Atkinson just had a nightmare of a fourth quarter and overtime. They blow a 22-point lead in 7 minutes and 52 seconds. That was all that was left in that game. It's hard to imagine. Can you imagine the Cleveland Cavaliers getting past losing that game, which would have given them home court advantage?
Well, if you're talking about a team that's desperate, it's got to be Cleveland, because now if you don't get yourself right tonight, now you're 0-2. You are going back home, but if you're going to win the series, you got to win one at Madison Square Garden, and they had that one all but locked up and just totally went on a walkabout. And James Harden got toasted defensively.
Boy, did he.
And Jalen Brunson, he's just an amazing player. We talk about the great players in the West. Jalen Brunson should be one of the faces of the league as well, with his ability to play well, but particularly in the fourth quarter and in the clutch.
Could you imagine they were just hunting on offense, any kind of switch to capitalize on James Harden's inability to play defense? And I don't think that was always the case with him, but he looks like a tired old man at the end of these games.
Well, that's it's one of those things. I think sometimes coaches try to overthink things. They're like, hey, what works? Look, we're old enough to remember the Green Bay power sweep. It's like, hey, we're going to run the sweep. Come and stop this. And Mike Brown, to his credit, like, okay, this guy is not historically a good defender. It's late in the game. Emotionally, the momentum is going against Cleveland, so let's put some more pressure on this guy and see if he cracks. And ultimately he did. Well,
I think some of that is the coach cracking, too. He did not use timeouts. He had 2 of them left at the end of the game, and he kept Harden in the game, and I could understand why you would say, okay, we got to keep him in for offense. But by that point, he had no legs. He was not providing any offense. He was killing you defensively. I just can't imagine Kenny Atkinson didn't make some sort of move for defense.
Well, I always go back to something Sean Tui used to say. He said, hey, use your timeouts. You can't turn them in for green stamps.
Right.
What's the point of keeping it? And I understand Kenny Atkinson says, I want to keep one in my pocket. Okay, you want to keep one in your pocket? That's fine. 2, that's a little extreme when you're blowing a 22-point lead.
Enjoy Chavez Ravine. You're going to love it. It's really pretty. And your concert and everything else. Have a great time. Are you back next week?
Yes, sir.
All right. We shall chat next Thursday. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Take care.
All right. That is our guy. That is Pete Pranica. I mentioned, we are sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios, and they have this ultimate pool sale. I've been telling you about it. It's really cool. You can get above ground pools, and that's really what they've been specializing in for ever since I've been here. They can give you those for under $4,000. Not give you, but sell you at the most reasonable price ever. And then there's the in-ground they've started to do. You can get state-of-the-art, brand new technology, everything you want in a pool, under $50,000. They got 5-piece furniture sets starting at under $1,000. You can get this outdoor sectional starting at $1,300. You get a free umbrella and base with select patio furniture sets. And if you mention us, you get $200 off on any pool or spa purchase. Special times at Family Leisure. Just head over there. We'll take a break. When we come back, we are not sure exactly where we're heading, but we're going to talk some baseball. The SEC tournament, how things are going there. My gosh, Shohei is out of his slump. And I mentioned to Pete, the Cubs got swept by the Milwaukee Brewers. In one of those games, Jacob Misiorowski was overpowering. Jacob Misiorowski is doing some things that haven't been done since 1893. We'll tell you about that. And a whole lot of baseball coming your way momentarily with our good friend, Tim Doolin.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
You know that feeling when something is supposed to be complicated and then it's not? That's the Dobbs Brothers way. For your new Chevrolet, there's no games, no runaround, no surprises, just straight answers from people who actually mean them. Buying a car shouldn't feel like a battle, and at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it doesn't. Trust, transparency, and driving our community forward. That's the Dobbs Brothers way. Shop Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett today.
All 650 acquisition fee, 26 Kia Sorento LX, TG 453 494, MSRP 34280, hybrid D 727 1780, MSRP 31865, K4T 3300941, MSRP 24825, Telluride VG 005 MSRP 44510, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through KFA, excludes tax title license with approved credit, dealer stock only, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 6/1/2026.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear you've got the summer sticker sales event on now at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. What's the scoop, Jeff?
The scoop is take your pick, 2026 Kia Sorento LX or a 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid LX, $297 a month. 2026 Kia K4 LXS, $219 per month. And a 2027 Kia Telluride S, $449 per month. All 24-month lease and $39.99 due at signing.
Plus, you've got the 2026 EV9, $12,000 off MSRP or 0% for 60 months available. And they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving 2 purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Shell Dunn, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I don't know if you saw this, but Lane Kiffin, who loves keeping himself in the spotlight, he's added Ed Orgeron to his staff. He's been a former partner of Kiffin's at USC and I think at Tennessee, both. And of course, Ed won a national title at LSU. He's coming back to I'm not even sure if it's totally defined. It'll be recruiting. It'll be defense. He is a heck of a defensive line coach. But we will talk tomorrow. Andy Schiffman is off. He's on a recruiting trip to Europe or something exotic. And so Ron Higgins, who was preempted by Ole Miss baseball, he will join us tomorrow in that time slot to talk about LSU. LSU, by the way, out of the SEC baseball tournament. Tim Doolin will talk about that in just a second. And I forgot to mention, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. No one's shocked at this. One more year. He says this will be it. 2026, his finale with the Pittsburgh Steelers, which, I think gives them a chance in that division just a bit. So here we go. Aaron Rodgers is not fading quite away. I mentioned we're going to talk baseball with Tim Doolin, our baseball guy. He's brought to you by his favorite golf course. That's Miramichi, not in Millington, ladies and gentlemen. It's in Woodstock. If you live in East Memphis, like I do, 25 minutes away from my driveway. Here's the thing about Miramichi. It's beautiful. You've heard me talk about that view on top of 9 and 18 on that deck that they have, best view in Shelby County. But it's beautiful everywhere. The back 9 is like a walk through woods and hills and a meandering stream, and it's competitive. You can play way back past 7,000 yards like they have in NCAA tournaments or AJGA events, or you can move up like I do, under 6,000 yards, and it's a lot of fun, but it's still competitive. Greens are in excellent shape, and this is a place where you can learn the game. The best practice facilities of any public golf course. I think better than most country clubs. I mean, huge. They've even got a sand trap to learn how to hit out of a chipping green. Of course, a huge driving range, and there's the biggest putting green in Shelby County. All you got to do is get there, and you will enjoy the total golf experience. Tell them we sent you when you go to Miramichi. Tim Doolin joins us now. Before we start with SEC baseball, we're going to do a lot about that. I promoted this. Milwaukee pitcher Jacob Misiorowski, who, by the way, is 6'7" and hides the ball so people can't see, is on an incredible tear. He's had 88 strikeouts in 57 innings. His ERA is 1.89. He has had 24 to third consecutive scoreless innings. This is the most incredible stat, Mr. Doolin. He's had 5 straight starts with 8 or more strikeouts, and he has not given up an extra base hit. That's the longest streak since 1893. Is this guy the Cy Young Award winner?
Well, he's on pace to be. I mean, think about this. He's only 24. And, they brought him up last year. He made the All-Star team, after not really having many innings. And some guys, even, big leaguers were arguing the fact that he shouldn't have. But he's obviously proven that he's an All-Star. Here's a guy that throws 100 miles an hour, and all the stats that you just read off are indicative of the fact that he's got a lot more in the tank besides just a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. This guy spins it really good. He's able to throw his secondary pitches in hitters counts, and it's not a fun day when you look up and you're facing this guy. I can assure you that.
I saw a graphic, and I just can't remember, but I think he throws more 100-plus mile-per-hour pitches in each start than anybody close in the major leagues. And, sometimes I've heard he's had to learn to pace himself because he gets late in-game leg cramps. And so I think that slowed him down just a little bit.
Yeah, here's a guy when all these pitchers these days, as we've talked a lot on the show, it's just max effort. They don't pace themselves like some of the old-timey guys that you and I loved watching pitch that just kind of went with the flow. Kurt Schilling, who I played with, he didn't start out the game throwing 95, 96. He just pitched. And as the game went on, he figured out that when he needed to reach back for a little bit extra to bump the velo, to finish innings or games or whatever, these guys are from the get-go, they're reaching back and firing. So, obviously you see some Tommy Johns, you see some fatigue factor, you see guys break down, but this guy hasn't done that thus far.
Well, he's only 24, as you said. I wonder how long before, if he stays healthy, he's a Yankee or a Dodger, right?
Yeah, right.
That would be. I kind of hope for Milwaukee he gets to stay there a while. It's a little like Paul Skeens in Pittsburgh. I really hope. I hope they stay in those smaller markets because those teams deserve superstars. They got them. They've helped develop them. I hope they get to keep them. In the meantime, Ole Miss lost in a big surprising way to one of the worst teams in college baseball the last couple of years, Missouri. So that knocked them in the first game of the SEC tournament out of the SEC tournament. What does that do to their College World Series chances?
Well, Mike's done an unbelievable job over the 20 plus years that he's been there. A few years ago when he won the World Series, he was much in the same position that he's in now. It's like kind of on the outside looking in, and then they had to go on the road. He's going to have to go on the road to whatever regional, might have to go out west. It's going to be tough. But nonetheless, I think the one thing that you got to look at to not, put the nail in the coffin on them is they played in the hardest league in the country, as we know. So week in and week out, they're playing top-notch teams that you maybe should beat, like Missouri, and you don't. Okay, well, he's going to go out, to play in a regional. The competition that they play throughout the course of the year, like I said, is going to help them. They're going to have to get it going to win a regional, and then, who knows? So I wouldn't count them out. It's just made the road a little bit tougher, and Ole Miss is used to hosting regionals and filling up Swayze Field, and that's an electric place, as you know. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this SEC tournament shakes up. I think the biggest story is looking at the likes of LSU, who won the College World Series last year and now are not going to even get a regional bid. I don't think it's going to happen.
They won't make anything, right? That knocks them out of postseason. So. Wow.
I don't think so. Unless some crazy things happen in some of these mid-majors conference tournaments where, like the likes of, say, a Memphis were to run through that thing and win it, that really kicks one of the, say, an East Carolina or somebody else out that would allow an LSU to sneak in, which I don't think is going to happen. Mm-hmm. But that's the only way something like that would allow an LSU to get in.
So as you mentioned, Ole Miss is used to hosting. That's totally out. But so where do you think they get sent to in the position that they are now in?
I don't know. Years past, they've sent teams like that. As far west as Oregon, they might send them to Arizona. I don't think they're going to send them to UCLA, but they could. And so you never know what the committee's going to do, and they try to create as much regional, locales for these teams as they can. But when it comes down to this, them getting a bid at all, they're going to send them wherever they want to send them. But I think that's where you could see them.
Couple of things that I've noticed in this tournament in Hoover is I don't know, are they juicing the ball? There's more home runs, it seems like, the first couple of days than I can remember being hit in Hoover. And the other thing is the ABS system, which I really like. Like the Missouri catcher was 7 for 8 in his challenges. But here's one thing I don't quite get, and I want you to address both those things, the home runs and this system. The ABS system, the way they're using this with the SEC, is that you get a 1-inch buffer. So when the Missouri catcher is challenging the call, he's right because it's hitting the very, very slim edge of that box they got painted. But that's the inch that the umpire really was right about, but they're giving that inch to the batter. It's kind of crazy. What are your thoughts about both those things?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's either, to me, it's like I've heard, the crusty old baseball scouts and managers saying, look, it's either a ball or a strike. It's either a strike or it's not. And I don't understand why they're doing the 1-inch thing. I will tell you from a hitter's perspective, and it really relates to balls flying out of the park at the Met, is that, think about this. I mean, you've got all the quantifiable statistical analysis to back it up, but there's a big difference in a 1-2 count and a 2-1 count for a hitter. 2-1, he's apt to more looking for a fastball that he can drive. 1-2, he's more in a defensive mode where he's got to protect, so he's not able to get off, quote unquote, his A swing. So when you're looking at the Missouri catcher, being correct on challenges, it puts the pitcher in an advantage. If it's the other way around and the hitter gets that call that he appeals, it gives the hitter an advantage. So I think the other thing that's attributed to the balls flying out of the Met is the weather is really good. It's not heavy air, and the wind will blow out some at the Met. They moved the fences in years ago from when the Birmingham Barons were playing there to make it a little bit more hitter friendly, but it still takes a good swing and getting the ball in the air to get it out of that park.
I tell you, there's a lot of foul territory in that place too. I saw a couple that would have been out of Major League Baseball a field of play. They would have been in the stands, and they are not in that one. I like the ABS system. I think it's cool, but I don't get the 1-inch buffer. Why do they do that?
I don't know. I'll have to ask some of my friends that are calling some of the games to see what they think about it. But I agree with you. I think if you're going to use it to, and you're saying that the ABS is accurate, then make it more conducive to being that way.
or as you said, it's a strike. It's a strike. It's a ball.
That's right.
It's a ball. Vandy loses. Do they lose their coach? Is Corbin going to move on?
There's not a lot of talk about this, but I've talked to some reliable sources that came up with the thought of it, about him potentially leaving and maybe going to take the South Carolina job. I can tell you this, I think he's frustrated with the portal and the way the NIL is working, and it's really adversely affected him. Keep in mind, years ago, the private institutions like Vandy and Virginia and Stanford and Tulane years ago were able to kind of get around that and have their own way of doing NIL because it was so expensive and it was a private institution. They can move scholarship monies around, etc., and get the best players. Well, now that it's a fair game for everybody to do it with the NIL, I think it's just a tougher sell for Corbs and Scott Brown, who's a great pitching coach, to get those players in the portal. I don't think look at it this way. Well, if you had a son, or if it were you, would you got the choice of going to any SEC school, All the facilities are great, so you can't use that as a recruiting tool. They all have great facilities except Missouri. They all have they're playing in the best league, and they all have money to give. So you're going to weigh the option, and a lot of these schools are using this against Vandy. You want to go to Vandy and have to go to class and grind in the classroom. You want to go and
wait, this is college, culture. Isn't it? It's college athletics, isn't it?
No, it is, but Vanderbilt's much harder academically than other schools.
Yeah.
Right? And keep in mind, you're getting in the portal to better your opportunity in professional baseball. So you have to have developers of talent that are coaching, and you have to weigh all the ancillaries. You know, there's schools out there that if you're that good, that are going to pay you more than Vandy can pay you. So I'm just telling you, I think Corbs is realizing that. Look, this is the first time, I think, since the second year he was there that he hasn't been in the postseason.
Does South Carolina have more money for baseball than Vandy?
I think they probably do, and I think that it would allow him to kind of recalibrate. I mean, it doesn't matter what coach you are or in any industry. There's sometimes that you've kind of worn your welcome out. You've done everything you could, and he's done it remarkably at Vandy. He told me years ago when he came to Memphis to speak at a banquet when he first got the job, he goes, "Timmy, I'm going to make Vanderbilt the Stanford of the East," and boy, did he!
He did.
So I think if he's gonna leave, I think he goes to South Carolina. He might stay, and if he doesn't go to South Carolina, I think the Coastal Carolina guy is the front runner in that job, and he'll be great too because he's done it at Coastal.
Arkansas seems to be finding their stride now. They beat Tennessee yesterday. Are you surprised with Van Horn?
No, not at all. I mean, I've said this on the show many times. Van Horn's probably one of the top 4 or 5 guys in my.
But he's never gotten to the promised land. That's the one thing.
Well, he's never won it, and he had a chance a couple of years ago, and just an unfortunate foul ball that should have been caught, and they would have had the ring. But I still think they're playing really good right now, and just to pass a few more kudos to him, as they showed last night on the ESPN or the SEC network. I mean, here's a guy in 2017 on his staff was Wes Johnson, the SEC Coach of the Year at Georgia this year. Tony Vitello, who's managing with the Giants.
Right. The first guy, by the way, to go from the NCAA to a major league job.
That's right. And the current head coach at Tennessee was on that staff. So yeah, he's got his stamp all over guys that are sprinkled in and around the college baseball world and also the major league world in San Francisco.
In the meantime, the Tigers, who looked dead at the halfway point, now they're still 9 games under 500, but they beat Charlotte yesterday, so they get into the double elimination portion of the American Athletic Conference baseball tournament. Could they pull off this crazy upset and run the table? Because I know Texas San Antonio is supposed to be a really good team. The Tigers, I think, got them in a series. East Carolina, they got them in a series. Could this Tigers team, obviously the most successful of the Riser era, could they pull off some shocking stuff here?
Well, they're playing really good, as you mentioned. They've played really good down the stretch and swept some teams. They swept Rice. They're playing a UAB team that's really, really good. They lost 2 out of 3 to UAB earlier in the season in conference play. So I think today's game or tomorrow's game, whichever one it is, I can't remember.
I think it's today after the.
It's today. I think it's getting ready to start. It's getting ready to start actually. But if they were to beat UAB, I think they're scary. I mean, I don't know if the other teams want to be facing Memphis Tigers right now because they are playing well. I think if they lose today, it's going to be very difficult because I don't think they're going to have the depth of pitching in their bullpen and in their rotation to come out of the losers bracket and actually win it. It's going to be very difficult.
So today goes a long way. That's good stuff.
Right.
Last thing. Last week we talked about Shohei Ohtani struggling, slumping at the plate. Some were saying, he's 30 now. He's maybe too old to be a two-way guy. Well, last night he's out of the slump. He's like hitting 500 in his last 32 or 37 at bats, something like that. He pitched 5 scoreless innings, but led off the game with a home run. It's the second time in his career that he's done that. He just continues to amaze.
I think he probably heard you questioning his abilities last week.
If I inspired him, send some money my way. He's got plenty.
You got that right. No, he's the best player in the game, and obviously fun to watch. And people are paying a lot of money to get to see him do both. And so I think he's fine.
I was explaining to my wife, because we're actually going to be in Chicago for my 55th high school reunion, and the White Sox are playing the Dodgers. And I was saying to my wife, we're going to get a chance to see the greatest baseball player of my lifetime. And I think, because I wasn't around for Babe Ruth, and there's been great players. Let's face it, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, all those guys.
Yep.
But I think if we look at it, because of what he's accomplished, pitching and hitting, he's the greatest player of my lifetime, and I'm 73 years old.
Well, it's crazy to think that, and then you think, man, this guy's probably got. I mean, think about it. He's probably got 6 to 10 more years left of doing something.
Yeah.
Now he might not be doing both 5 or 6 years from now, but I guarantee he's gonna be determined to prove that he can do it as long as he can. As long as he's productive, he'll keep doing both.
It'll be fun to watch, that's for sure. You have a great weekend, and we'll talk again next Thursday, my friend.
Sounds good, Wolo.
Thank you. That is Tim Doolin, our man on baseball. He's brought to you by Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Ken's saying, if you're ready to finally pull the trigger, build that dream home, talk to him. He knows exactly how to utilize land that you may have in mind, or maybe you're looking for land. They can do that too. Or maybe you don't want to move. You love your lot, but you want modern amenities. That video room with speakers in the wall, the California closets, the island in the kitchen with the flames coming up. You got a stovetop right on top of the island. These are cool things. They're all the new modern amenities you can put in your old home. I called it renovation with innovation, and Ken and his son William, now 3 generations with the name Garland and know what they're doing, are in the business. Go to kengarland.com. You'll see what I'm talking about. Look at that number and call. They're fun to talk to. They've been doing this a long time. If you're ready for that dream home or that renovation with innovation, there's only one way to go. That's Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. We're traveling to paradise. We're going to the Dominican Republic. That's where Jarvis Greer is hanging out by the ocean. We'll chat with him about a myriad of things in just a minute.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Brownie, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals, and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Everybody in Memphis knows by now that Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise on Poplar are the places to go for a great breakfast or lunch. But what you may not know is that Sunrise is partnered with Across the Board Catering to provide their delicious food for events ranging from work lunches to birthday parties to tailgates and any other time people want to eat some Sunrise tastiness somewhere other than a Sunrise location. Don't make your friends, coworkers, or virtual strangers you've been tasked with feeding suffer by giving them some cold box lunch when you can give them Sunrise.
Volkswagen Driver Days is on at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, and it's drivers wanted. If you're looking for sporty, we Gossett 2026 Jetta S, just $249 a month, $249 a a month for Jetta S. How about 2025 Tiguan S, $269 a month? Yes, brand new Tiguan S, $269 a month. And Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike wants to get you vacation ready in 2026 Atlas SE, $329 a month. That's only $329 a month for a brand new Atlas SE. If you're ready for a new ride, we got you covered at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. So get to Gossett Volkswagen today at 1875 Covington Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Atlas TC 564,681, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer in 6/126. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
They are eating up TPC Craig Ranch. Remember, last year Scheffler was 31 under. They made it a little bit harder, but not so much harder. We have 3 players, 2/3 of the way through their first round, and they are at 5 under. Emiliano Grillo, Brooks Koepka, and Si Woo Kim, my pick, by the way. How about this? Wyndham Clark, who was picked by somebody, he's 4 under. And so is Charlie Hoffman from out of nowhere, 4 under. We'll keep our eye on all of that. In the meantime, we are headed to paradise. We're headed somewhere in the Dominican Republic on vacation, but the man always works. Jarvis Greer joins us now. Exactly where are you in the DR?
Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Dominican, Punta Cana.
Punta Cana. Hey, that's the new hotspot. You always find the hotspots.
Oh, we've been coming here a long time, Dave. This place is great. And
right,
the water.
What is great about it? What do you love? We know you don't sip. You're not sipping daiquiris. You don't do that.
No. The beach is the best beach we've been to. It's wide. It goes on forever. It's a big property. But it's never crowded. It's never like it's crowded, even when it's full, even with spring breakers and all that stuff. There's an adult side and a kid's side. They just opened a huge water park that's kind of like Adventure River. Remember Adventure River?
No.
Out on I-40.
Yeah,
they had a kiddie one. Now they opened a giant one. They're always improving it, and it's just relaxed, and it's all inclusive. So if they need more than that,
right? All inclusive. I know you're eating like in style.
And the water's always warm, and there's always really good wave action if you want a boogie board or body surf or any of that.
So are you body surfing?
Not flat like flowing.
Are you body surfing?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I like to see you get out there, Dave, and do a couple of moves out there and get rolled up on the beach. It's a lot of fun.
If you're doing that, then I'm game. I can promise you that. All right. What are the girls going to do now with the number 3 pick? It looks like Boozer has moved up maybe on some people's boards here, thinking that he may go 1 or 2, and that Peterson, who, there are some people that speculate his attitude is not right. He wants to be a point guard. He's been an off guard, a wing kind of a guy, certainly a great ceiling, though, that he could slip to the Grizzlies. Would you like if that happened? Are you still more Boozer or Wilson? Where's your head on pick number 3?
Full disclosure, I'm a Caleb Wilson guy from North Carolina. Because I like the fact if you're going to pick that high, now I'll talk about Darren Peterson in a second, but if you're going to, when we were talking, well, maybe between Caleb Wilson and Cameron Boozer, I was a Caleb Wilson guy because Caleb Wilson his ceiling is through the roof. Now, he's got a lower floor than Cam Boozer, but his ceiling is through the roof. He can run the floor. He is a monster around the basket. He can block anything and everything. And they say, his 3-point shot. Well, I don't really want my big guy shooting a lot of threes. I want him around the basket. He's a really good rebounder, which is what they need. He can play guys like KD, who are, 6'11". He won't say he's 7 feet. He can play those guys out on the wing defensively because he can move. Now, Cam Boozer is at 6'9", 250, and he moves better in the combine, actually, but a quarter of an inch of a second better than Wilson, and their length is about the same, which, hey, great for that. I just kind of like the sky's the limit with Caleb Wilson, but Darren Peterson, the sky is also the limit for him. He would fill a need if they move off a job because he wants to play guard. The only thing is, is he a head case? Is he, he had those body cramp issues, and that was because he was taking creatine. And I think they say they got that worked out. I guess we'll see. But I don't know, man. If he falls to number 3, you get if Cam
let's just say this. Let's just speculate. And DeBanza goes 1 to Washington. Utah decides to go with Boozer for the very reasons you talked about. We know what his floor is. We know he's going to be really good. Now you got a choice between Wilson and Peterson. That's a tough choice.
It's a tough one. That's a tough one. That got thrown into the mix because of the way Boozer worked out, at the draft combine. And Darren Peterson can do anything with the basketball. And if he wants to play point guard, hey, that's great. I think they used him more as a 2 at Arizona, but he has all the tools. He's long. I think he's got a 42-inch vertical. I don't know. He's an incredible talent.
I think he wants to be like SGA. I think that's the way he would like to be used. On ball.
I'll put it this way. I don't think you can go wrong. The Grizzlies got a great break moving up to from the 6th spot to number 3 in the lottery.
No doubt.
And with that, and then they're going to get a great player. It just depends on what they decide to do with it. And if it's Darren Peterson or Caleb Wilson, I will be happy. I'm a little skeptical about Darren Peterson simply because of what we went through with Ja and all his shenanigans. And who knows? I mean, Ja still got 2 years left on his contract. People call me crazy, saying that ship has sailed, but he's still got two years.
He's not going to do those 2 years. He won't be here these 2 years.
He may not, but they're in a position where they don't have to do anything with him right now. They can still draft Darren Peterson.
That's very true. Well, they're going to use that 3 pick on somebody really good. There's no doubt.
They'll use it on somebody really, really good. And what about the Huff thing, man?
Well, I was just going to go there. Since Charles Huff has arrived, both you and I have marveled at his oratory skills. He had everybody excited a couple of days ago when speaking to the Downtown Rotary, saying emphatically, Memphis will be in a Power 4 conference, and he even gave the year, 2028. I sure hope he knows something we don't know. That was a pretty emphatic statement to make.
And that's something to go ahead and say that out loud. He said at the Rotary Club, I think Downtown Rotary, I don't mind speaking. I like speaking things into existence. And I'm sure he wouldn't say that out loud unless he had an okay from the administration, Dr. Bill Hargrave, the president, Dr. Ed Scott, Big Ed, the athletic directors, and anybody else. Because you don't come out and say, but he did say this. He said, we plan on being in a Power 4 by 2028. Okay, well, all right. You can plan on it. Let's see. But the one thing he said that I've been saying forever, it's going to take a community effort. We got to win a lot of games, but we also got to have a lot of people in the stand.
Right.
And that's what TV likes. TV wants to see people. They want full houses. They want the students in there. And I don't know how many students we get because our students work. But we got a lot of other people here that, would like to have a football team to go see without having to drive, 80 miles south or 400 miles east or 300 miles west, to go see good football. We've got a good team here, a good product, and a refurbished stadium. And if you want it, it's going to take a community effort, not just a team winning games. And you can't go in with a defeatist attitude. Say, well, if they're only playing Chattanooga State or somebody like that, then I'm not going. You can't make them go. Well, all right, it's not so much that; it's the league games. You better be packing those out or get as many people in there as you can, because it is important. Tigers got to hit on all cylinders for this to work. Because if that last drive they did to the Big 12 didn't work, they tried that without getting full houses at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Full houses is what TV likes, and TV drives this whole thing. It really does. That's why there's 20 teams in the Big Ten now, and the SEC expanded because they want to see those. They like seeing those big stadiums with lots of people in them. And Memphis is. I think that's the last piece of the puzzle because the Tigers have won, can win, and will win. Now we just got to win in the stand.
Let's face it. This beginning of the Huff era, which has so much promise, it really does, but it's got a tough, challenging beginning. You know, we could talk all we want to about 2028. In 2026, they start in Las Vegas against Dan Mullen and UNLV. Then they got Arkansas State at home, and that's for them. For Arkansas State, that's a rivalry game. They always play Memphis pretty tough.
And they bring some people. So good
and
for
they
them.
do. And then you got to go to Boise. So you're talking about 3 tough games to begin this year. Only one of them's at home.
Yeah, so you'll know where you stand in the race for the playoff right off the bat. If you go out and knock off 1 or 2 of those, games on the road, come back and get a win, I think, that'll be great. But it's, so much, there's so many question marks, 71 new players. But Coach Huff has won everywhere he's been, and he has his plan. He works his plan, and so far his plan has been successful. So let's hope that plan can bring the same success to the Blue and Gray.
Yeah, you win those 2 games, you're in the driver's seat. If you win, though, and you're 3-0 after those, and you got UT Martin coming, I mean, you're in the driver's seat for that position of
and I think the American. I think also the American is still the best league among the Power Four. And in football,
their 2 possible toughest games, Tulane and South Florida, are both on the road. They got to play Navy at Navy too. So
so they
do have Army at home, so that's good.
Yeah, they have the schedule, but like whoever they have at home, you got to fill it up. You got to pack it up, folks. Just pack it in. Put people there. If you and me and everybody else want to be where we say we want to be, then we got to put the skin in the game to make it happen. It's not just the W's and L's. It's got to be okay. We got to get that turnstile count. We got to have people. We got to have people ready to go and ready to go and be crazy in the stadium.
My friend, you are a trooper for on your vacation, stopping and pausing and being on the show today. Please do not hurt yourself as you try wave board.
Body surfing, baby.
Body surfing. Do not hurt yourself. Don't get turf toe on the beach.
I was just about to go put my toes in the sand here. We're sitting by the pool right now, but we're about to go jump for the sand. You go down to the beach and enjoy.
I saw your
enjoy.
pictures.
Enjoy. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Enjoy, my friend. You and Emily do live life correctly. I'll say that. Thank you, Jarvo.
You only got one chance.
There you go. That is our man. Thank you. That's our man, Jarvis Greer from the Dominican Republic. He's brought to you by Shell Dunn, whether it's competing on the golf course, the baseball diamond, the gridiron, the hardwood. If you follow your competition, you're always behind them. Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, who, by the way, is the worst golfer in town, tells people that selling a home is exactly like the competition you face in sports. If you don't have a good coach, good guidance, and a strategic plan like he has, you'll head to the lockers, losing out to other homes, selling while you sit. With the steady interest rates, and they're pretty good, there is a lot of activity in the market, and the inventory has increased. So it's even more important to get the best position before the game starts. Want to know how to beat your competition to get a better price or to sell quicker? Call or email Sheldon and find out why people say when you want the job done, you call Sheldon. You reach him at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. That's Sheldon Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That does it for us. Tomorrow we will have our usual, except for no Andy Schiffman, but we'll have Jonah Dillon, last segment of the show, and in the very beginning of the show we will have the story of Lane Kiffin and more, baseball team and everything else. That'll be Ron Higgins who will be filling in. We'll see you tomorrow. Johnny Radio's right around the corner. Keep it right here and have a great day, everybody.